الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. People have been here a long time. We lost some people. They just either had to go and catch the tube, or they had something on the tube they wanted to watch or something. I don't know. But I wanted to make a few remarks. First of all, I want to address a few issues that I think are important, and perhaps not for most of the people in the room, but for other people, and I would like you to convey this to the other people. There are people that have been talking about the work that's being done by Fuad Nahdi, by Abdurrahman, by Farina, by the other groups that have been involved in this effort, that this is a government propaganda, that this is stooges of the government of England, etc., etc. Many things. I'm sure some of you have heard some of these things. So I want to say a few things about that. First of all, there's a verse in the Quran that is very interesting to me, and probably to most of you. وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسَّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا. If people incline towards reconciliation, incline with them. وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. And trust in God. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. وَإِن يُرِيدُوا أَن يَخْدَعُوكَ فَإِنَّ حَسْبُكَ اللَّهُ. That incline, when they want to incline towards peace, you incline towards peace. And if they want to deceive you, if there's some hidden ulterior motive, God's enough for you. Don't worry about that. That's not your concern. Peace is so precious that anybody that reaches out for peace, you should reach out with them for peace. And another thing I want to say about this government. Who do you think this government is? They're called civil servants. Who do you think pays their money? Where do you think this money is from that the government has? It's from the pockets of the British people who pay taxes. There's 2 million Muslims in this country paying tax. They don't want a little refund? No, seriously. I mean, I'm just amazed at this. Abu Hanifa said, أَكْرُ أَمْوَالِ الْكُفَارِ بِرِضَاهُمْ جَائِزٌ. The wealth of the non-Muslims, if they want to give it to you, it's permissible to take it. Now, I sat yesterday at Wiltebur, and I'll tell you something, Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayya. I didn't want to come here. I'm going to be honest with you. I was in California. My wife is a brilliant cook. Really, there's no hotel food that compares to her food. It's not why I married her. She learned to cook after I married her. But she's a brilliant cook. Her food is very good. It's nourishing. I feel good when I eat her food. And she cooks it with love. You can't get that in a restaurant. I can taste the anxiety in their food. I can taste the anger of the cook when he's going through the thing. I can feel it. My cells feel it. And I also have really good tea. I come to England to buy the tea. I take it back. I have big supply. My tea is much better than the tea they give at any hotel I've ever stayed at England. I learned how to make tea from Abdul Azim Sanders, excellent tea maker. If anybody's ever had his tea, they'll know what I mean. But why leave the comfort of my home? Because my sheikh asked me, he said, this is an important thing, so come. So I came. I'm tired. So I'm going to whenever I get tired, I get more open, because my defenses are down. I'm going to tell you some true things. I used to not like the English people. Seriously. I thought they were cynical. The English people, the way they roll their eyes, there's a certain way that, there's a smirk that comes on their mouths when you say something. Really, very subtle things that you notice about the English. There's a cynicism that's particularly Anglo-Saxon in its nature. And it's really interesting. But I'll tell you something. I have come to love these people. And for a number of reasons. And I want to talk about this because it's very important for all of you who are living here. This country is an amazing country. It has done many wrongs. And we could bring an Irish person here tonight and they could talk for hours about what this country has done. We could bring Welsh people. They might not be as eloquent as the Irishmen, but they could also talk for several hours about what the English have done to them. And you could bring some of my tribe from Scotland, really. You could bring some of them down and they'll give you with a nice brogue, they'll let you know what the English did. From Edward Longshanks on, or even before that. Seriously, they'll tell you about the English. But each one of these people has been challenged to learn to live with the English. Really. The Scots are very civil. Some of them want independence, quite a number of them. But how are they going about that independence? They're not blowing up things. Really. They have other ways of doing it. The Welsh de-evolution has been a long time. They say the Welsh are the Irish that couldn't swim. You know, it's been a long time since the Welsh have been occupied. Much longer than Palestine. But the Welsh are a gentle people. I love the Welsh also, really. And I love the Irish. But it's taken me a while to really appreciate the subtleties of these different cultures. And so I really want to say there's two ways that you can live in your life. One way is the way of husn al-dhan. It's having a good opinion. And the other way is the way of su' al-dhan. And years ago, my Sheikh, Abdullah bin Bayya, we were in a gathering and he doesn't tolerate ghiba. It's one of the things I love about his majlis is he doesn't tolerate ghiba. You can't say anything about anybody, even people that you should say things about. He won't let you say things about them. And somebody mentioned something about Jamaluddin al-Afghani, who died a long time ago, last century, 2 centuries ago. And somebody said something, and Sheikh Abdullah said a word, I never forgot it. He said, Ya akhi, ahsin al-dhan bil mawta, jarrabna su' al-dhan. He said, have a good opinion of the dead. We've tried having bad opinions. We've tested it as a way of being in the world. And our Prophet ﷺ had the best of opinions. Whenever the Quraysh reached out for him, he reached out for them. Muawiyah, we know in the Arabic tradition they call it Sha'ra Muawiyah. The hair of Muawiyah. Muawiyah is one of the most brilliant politicians in human history. He's a case study. You could do the leadership secrets of Muawiyah and it should be a bestseller. Muawiyah, they asked him and he said, if there was a hair of relationship between me and somebody else, if he pulled on it, I would release. If he released, I would pull. A hair of relationship. Just to keep that opening there, that potential. Now, I met yesterday, and you should be thankful that you have people like Maqbool Ali inside the Foreign Office. Because I have a good opinion of that young man. He's a bright young man, and he has good intentions. And he's there, he's representing your community. You live here, you pay taxes. This is your government. This is not Rawalpindi. This is not Karachi. This is not Cairo. This is not some funny place off in the middle of the Muslim world where if you say anything against the government, suddenly you're in chains being dragged away. No, this is a country that you are citizens. لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل في هذا البلد. I swear by this land, and you are a lawful citizen of this land. You are citizens. This is not subjection. You're not subjects, except in a very, the British are citizens and subjects. But this is, it's something superficial. The Queen can't just arbitrarily send you off to the prison. And we should be wary of some of these laws being passed because they're against the essential nature of this country. And we have to remind the English, you're the people of the Magna Carta. You're the people of habeas corpus. This is your tradition. You gave this to the Western world. You're the people of John Locke.